Hey guys, it's Paul Myers, licensed counselor, owner, and lead therapist of Intentional Counseling. If you haven't been to our channel, we're a group practice in Frisco, Texas, and we specialize in mental health and counseling and therapy. So I'm going to go over an overview today of cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is just one type of therapy or a theoretical orientation where it's a form or theory which you approach counseling or approach therapy to help people. Okay, there's many forms of therapy, many theoretical orientations. CBT is very popular for a lot of reasons, just because it's a little bit more quantifiable, measurable, and concrete, which I think people really like practicality and concreteness. And so that's why I like cognitive behavioral therapy as one form of therapy that I do offer my clients that I find really helpful for certain disorders and struggles. Okay, so I'm going to go over the theory of CBT and why it's helpful, and I'm going to kind of give you some examples. It's just an overview of the idea of it. And so hopefully it can get you interested in it and maybe researching on your own or seeking therapy on your own for a therapist that specializes in this type of therapy. So, okay, so over here, I'll give you a little bit of a picture. We've got, this is just ocean water, so just imagine that's an ocean. We have the little iceberg theory here. So in an iceberg, we've got, a little bit of it is showing above the water, and then most of it is below the water here, okay? So above the water, we have behavior, okay? So behavior is apparent, it's obvious, everybody can see it, everyone's aware of it, it's very identifiable, okay? So that's why it's above the water, okay? Now below that, we have emotions. So particularly insightful people can kind of see through the water here and kind of read emotion pretty well, and can be aware of what people are feeling and thinking. It requires a little bit more awareness, which is good and healthy. Okay, underneath emotion, we have a thought process. Thought process. Thought process is ways of thinking or patterns of thinking. We all have our tendencies and our habits and our patterns. We're discovering that, certain ways of thinking actually develop certain neural pathways in your brain. And the more you think it in that way, the more ingrained and habitual that way of thinking becomes, and we condition our mind to think that way. We have these thought processes and patterns, which are require a lot of insight and awareness, okay? And then down here, all the way at the bottom, we have what's called a core belief. Core beliefs, okay? So core beliefs are fundamental ideologies or ways of thinking, and it's kind of ingrained in us. A lot of it's very subconscious. We don't actively, think about core beliefs. Most of the time they're just there, right? Or they're from our childhood or upbringing or our background. So core beliefs are at the core or at the root of the theory, okay? So the theory says core beliefs are the origin or the source of all the other things. So it starts with core beliefs, which produce thoughts or thought processes, which produce emotions and feelings, okay, that are a direct result of the way you think. And then the emotions, a lot of the time, will dictate your behavior, right? So the theory is, if I change core beliefs, I really go ahead and knock out dysfunction at the source of the issue, okay? And a lot of people are not aware of their core beliefs, so it's very healthy to identify core beliefs and actively choose them or change them if necessary, okay? So core beliefs produce thoughts, produce emotions, produce behavior, okay? So that's the theory, okay? I'll give you an example of how one little core belief shift can really change a lot of things. Okay, I'll give you a positive and a negative example. Okay, so I'll use a different color for this. I'm very visual, so hopefully this helps. So let's look at a core belief, a very small core belief about a framework you have for yourself. Okay, so let's say I have a negative framework of self, and I genuinely believe that I'm not capable. Okay, so that's be a core belief about self. We have core beliefs about all kinds of things. We have core beliefs about love, about others, about God, about relationships, about marriage, about everything. Okay, self. You know, so these core beliefs. This would be one core belief about self, that I'm not capable. What that's going to do, that's going to produce a thought process. Okay, that's going to be very self-critical. Okay, or maybe you doubt a lot, or you second guess, or you question yourself a lot. Okay, so lots of negative ways of thinking. There are many ways of thinking that can come from this. This is just an example. Okay, so then I'm not capable produces a self-critical, doubtful thought process, which can produce certain emotions. The emotions could be shame, or guilt, or fear and anxiety, right? Okay. Maybe you could be discouraged. Okay. Just an example. Okay, so those are the emotions. And then the behavior that's produced from this could be maybe apprehensive, right? Or hesitant. Or maybe avoidant. You can avoid things to cope. Right? Okay? It's just an example. Okay. So in the same way, let's take the exact same core belief framework of self, and we're going to spin it positively. Okay? So let's do the wrong color here. Let's do a core belief that I am capable. Right? That's going to produce a positive thought process. The thought process is going to be opportunistic. The thought process is going to be very where you're motivated and you're inspired, right? So it's going to be very goal oriented, right? A lot of it will be focused on like practicality and solutions, right? So you're not focused on yourself so much, more so on where you want to go and your solutions in your future and the tasks at hand. The emotions would be hope or motivation. Right? Behavior, you would take initiative. Or you would be decisive. Right? Or you take risk. Right? Healthy amount of risk. As an example. Okay. So you can see how that just is such a small shift, but it really just starts affecting everything and snowballing everything. And it's just so powerful, right? So a simple thing like that will help. Looking at core beliefs is very helpful for people to identify who they are, why they do what they do. It explains a lot of things, okay? And it helps kind of dig out some of those roots or peel back the layers of the onion to really find origins of problems. Core beliefs come from lots of things. Lots of the time it comes from your childhood or your parents or your upbringing or your experiences when you're younger. And we have all unique experiences that all influence these, and they just kind of naturally form over time, okay? But it's good to actively choose core beliefs, making sure that they're very positive, right? Positive core beliefs, usually people are happier and have more better mental health, and as you can see, this is a huge difference here. So, okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to reach out, leave those below. If you have a topic you'd like for us to discuss, please shoot that over to us. We'd be happy to create some content or a video on that. If you have not done therapy, definitely go to intentional-counseling.com. Either myself or one of our trained therapists would be happy to help you, either via telehealth or in person. Counseling is just for people who want to be better and want to be healthier and want to improve. And it's a safe place to share and open up and just work through really any issue. And so we encourage you to do that. And we appreciate you stopping by, all right? Take care, guys.